This is going to be the easiest automation you put into Salesforce all year long. It's record formatting. So every business ever that I have ever worked with spends time on cleaning up data. And I know this looks like it's super simple and who cares and nobody even messes with it. Well, apparently everybody does, you included. Everybody cleans this up. I've never not seen a business that doesn't take the time to make sure the phone numbers are all written the same way, the website's written the same way, the first name, the last name's all written the same way. So you might as well create an automation, take 2 seconds to do that so that you don't waste hours throughout the year with people that you're actually paying to do this cleanup for you. So it looks small, looks kind of trivial, but everybody does it. So you might as well have it in here. Okay. So our example is for leads. So when you have some kind of contact form where people want to sign up and take a call with you, they're going to be able to enter in information and it's going to all look a little bit different. You're going to hope everybody does it the same, but they're not. So their first name, they could write it all lowercase. They could write it all uppercase. They could have a space in front of it. They could have a space at the end of it. Same with their last name. The website could sometimes have www. Sometimes it has HTTPS. Sometimes it has nothing. It's just the company name. And then the phone number is the same way. Sometimes it has a country code. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they write it with hyphens. Sometimes they don't. So all this information comes in a little bit screwy. And when you're searching for records in Salesforce, you just want to be able to know that it all comes in the same way and you can find it the same way. It's going to appear in all your reports the same way and it doesn't look funky. So this is how you're going to do this. Okay. So when a new lead comes in, we're going to trigger some automation. That automation is then going to go look and see how we want to format these things. So if you want all the leads with their first and last name to come in with a capital letter for the first letter in their name and the first letter in their last name, that's what we're going to have this automation do. It'll take that string of text and look at it. And if Jordan is spelt out all lowercase, it'll make sure to capitalize the J. And then Nelson, if that's lowercase, it'll capitalize the N. This will also look for things that have a leading or trailing space. Sometimes people hit a space in front of it or a space after it on accident. It's going to delete that stuff. So it'll just keep the first and the last name. The other piece is the phone number. So figure out how you want it formatted. Most people like it with the hyphens in the US and don't always care about the country code. I would depend like where you're obviously selling services to. If you're just USA based, probably don't need the country code. So in that situation, you just have your area code and then hyphen and then the phone number. So look for it that way. However you want to format it, you can, but it will do that same thing. And then the website, same thing. You probably just want it to be the way that you would extract it from a URL here. So if we just went to some random website, whatever it appears as there, that's probably how you want it down here. Same thing. Want to make sure it shows up that same way. So this is really easy to do. This diagram basically is just going to show us how a business can automatically clean this up. You don't have to waste time on it throughout the year with people that you're actually paying in your business to do other high level stuff and format it to all look correct. All right, got through that really quick. So the very last thing I would say is where this is also going to come into play is opportunities. So opportunities are basically like deals that you have available inside of Salesforce, and the naming convention of the deal, what you want to call that deal, that actually does become a bigger deal. No pun intended, I guess, with saying that. It becomes a bigger problem is what I really should say. The reason for that is if you don't format the way that you're going to name opportunities and accounts and contacts and the other things that you have inside of Salesforce cases, it gets really confusing to know how to search for those. So an example might be every time we have a renewal come up, that's an opportunity or it's a deal inside of Salesforce. We probably want that opportunity to always start with renewal and then maybe the company name and then the date of when we expect that to take place or when we got that deal. That would be like an example. So now every time when I go and create an opportunity, me as the sales rep, I don't need to remember any of that. I just type in whatever I want. And then when it creates it, this automation on the back end will actually go and do that for us. Okay, this was a renewal because that's the opportunity type. This is the date that the contract started, and here's the company name. And we're going to put it in that order. If you don't do that, I've actually done that automation way more than this lead one. I've done both, but the opportunity one, I've probably done a lot more just so that those are all formatted correctly. Same with your accounts, same with your cases. So as you get people that write in and they're complaining about your product or service, or they need help with your product or service, you got cases. So you probably want to name those a little bit different so you know what they're talking about. It's helpful to not just see case number 003761, right? You might want something in front of it. Case X whatever. Like you could name it the problem type and then the number. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. That's kind of the whole point of this. So really easy one to do, saves you a bunch of time in the long run, keeps all your data looking nice. If you haven't done this before, you want to do it, there's a link in the description. We can see if we're a good fit for you guys as your consultants. If we are, we can come in here and do this for you. Like I said, every single business I've ever worked with ever has always done this. So we've done this plenty of times. Happy to come in and do it. Again, links in the description. Look forward to speaking with you guys soon. Thanks.